Black Friday is for shopping for most people. It's also when your clients' families are at home. So if you had something delivered on Black Friday or you hand delivered it, everyone's gonna say, who's that? Oh, that's my financial advisor. And retention in all of our businesses is multi-generational. So that's a way to make big impacts, say thank you, do something nice. I mean, there's so much good that can be done. This is a big part, and it's not time for you to take the foot off the brake and get balance or whatever bullshit someone's telling you need.
Welcome to Sales Assassins, the podcast that unveils the lost art of word-of-mouth marketing for professionals just like you. We cover everything from building relationships and nurturing connections to overcoming the challenges of modern marketing. You'll learn how to stand out in a crowded market, charge confidently for your services, and create an army of people recommending you without hesitation. Now, let's dive in and make you deadly effective at sales. Welcome to Sales Assassins. Joe, how's it going, my friend?
Outstanding. Great to see you.
Oh yeah, let's jump in. I stopped you from talking.
Happens all the time.
Small feat
everywhere I go.
Yeah, no small feat right there. So that we get this recorded. This is great. This is a topic that came up. This idea we're heading right into holiday season. That means a lot of things for a lot of different industries. What it actually means and what we think it means are two very different things. And this is where you were going. What's come up just this past couple of weeks around this?
So our call last week, I had another facilitator on the call and I happened to watch it, and the topic came up, and I could see within the group that there was a sign of relief that the holidays were coming and that this was going to be a time where they were going to kind of take the foot off the gas. And I brought it up in our call yesterday and confirmed that basically there wasn't a real plan for the holidays. There wasn't an intention of what they were going to do. It's kind of like, hey, I'm gonna enjoy the holidays, which I'm not saying you shouldn't enjoy the holidays, just do it strategically. So that's what came out of yesterday. And so when I think about that, and I think all of us naturally want to have a decompression period. So if you took the week off from Christmas to New Year's, and this year we got Christmas Wednesday, New Year's Wednesday. So you might get 2 weeks where it's a little less, but taking the mindset that it's time for me to kind of put the brakes on in our type of business, and especially around pillars, I think is a huge misstep, because this is prime time for pillars. This is the holiday spirit, so to speak. So even you get Halloween, then to Thanksgiving, and then on into Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever it is in that time period. That is prime time, pillar time. That's when you have so many opportunities to really set yourself up for a big next year. Also, thank all the people you're grateful for, and not be, running around trying to make sales in people's faces at a holiday party. I wouldn't do that. But this is what I would call prime time. This is when you are really going to make some strides.
And I can see that from just there are more social opportunities out there. What is the holiday pivot, we'll call it, right? To sort of, that people are leaned back in terms of business owners making decisions, but then maybe more receptive to that. What's great with word of mouth and finding those pillars, that casual conversation and open to new relationships. What is the holiday pivot? How do we go about that?
So I would say the first thing is start with your, who you're actually thankful for. Who are the people, and we did this yesterday, by the way, and I asked everyone, why these people? It's because we did a Focus 5 for the holidays. I said, why these people? Why? Why are you picking these 5 people? And the answer across the board was, this person supported me, this person was helpful to me, this was a great partner. I mean, it wasn't, I think I can get this from this person. It was how this person helped me and my business and vice versa throughout the year. So I would, I had them walk through a simple exercise where start there. Who are between now and let's call it New Year's Day, which you can, everybody loves New Year's Day because of the football and all the food and everything. But between now and even, a couple days before Christmas or whatever holiday you celebrate there, who do you need to be in front of that you're just going to go have a lunch, have a coffee, go to their holiday, whatever it is, and just say thanks. Hey, we had a great year, I wanted to say thank you. Like, start in gratitude. And you should, I mean, it can't be false because they're going to snip you out. So I wouldn't go into these with like any other things, keep social, or however we describe that. I would go at it like, I'm going to go thank the most important people in my life and do something special for them. So there are a lot of ways to go about it. You don't have to be extravagant. You don't, we had one guy talk about, he goes in a Santa Claus tuxedo to one of the parties, and then that's hilarious and makes a big impact. And so you can make it fun, but get really intentional about who you want to say thank you to. And when you have an opportunity to do that, that's when you can start having conversations about what did they do this year? What are they doing next year? Who's coming home from the holidays? I mean, Black Friday's for shopping for most people. It's also when your clients' families are at home. So if you had something delivered on Black Friday or you hand delivered it, which would be ideal if you could, everyone's going to say, who's that? Oh, that's my financial advisor. That's the person that does this. So like, and retention in all of our businesses is multi-generational. So that's a way to make big impacts, say thank you, do something nice. I mean, there's so much good that can be done just in those little gestures. So if you start there, there's a lot of different things you can do, but just starting with who is it that you want to say thanks to.
I love those creative approaches too. And again, this goes in that category of strategic and authentic. And you
Correct.
can be both.
Yes.
Right? Strategic in who you're talking to and what you're putting in front of them. Yeah, if it has your logo on it, it's going to sit out on the table for guests the night before Christmas because it's a hors d'oeuvre tray or whatever it is, gift box. That's great. Like, there's no reason to shy away from it. And it's also coming from a genuine place of thanks.
Well, I mean, tis the season. We've got clients as in Inner Circle, they'll have Santa at their office so people won't have to wait in line at the mall. I don't know when the last time you went to a mall was, but I didn't enjoy it. But if I'm going to, that's helping a parent out, helping a grandparent out. I mean, it's the little things like that. And plus everybody is having their events, the local community and charity and all these. So you could look at the next 2 months and essentially readjust your calendar to make sure you go to these and give. Like, go give your time, go give it, if it's Toys for Tots, if it's Salvation Army. I mean, I don't know if you've ever rang the bell in Illinois when it's, 20 below outside freaking Shoe Carnival. However, someone's got to do it. Now I think they have it. I think these days they don't have someone out there anymore, but they used to. And so this is a time to give back. And, like the good book says, you have to give to receive. So your motive is, I'm going to give without expecting something back and say thank you. I promise you, if you spent the next 2 months doing that and went to all the places and, if you just looked at the top people that you really wanted to impact and say thank you to, you could give them a gift. Most people that you work with probably don't need a gift, but, a perfect gift, we say it's unique, useful, and thoughtful. So like, is it something that's unique? Is it useful? Is it thoughtful? Not extravagant. Not did you strike a big check? Because most people don't need stuff. They need someone to care about them. So you can go with that for your pillars or your top people. Look at if you're involved in a charity, I guarantee you they have something. If you're in some sort of association, I promise you they have something. And if, you like to do something socially, everywhere you play does something at the holiday season. So your calendar, a lot of people kind of pull back and decompress, and everybody needs that. I'm not saying not to. I'm just saying, don't just take your foot off the brake now and go into November, December thinking it's over. You could finish really strong and set yourself up for huge success if you're strategic about the next 2 months and make it about others. Like, be real about, this is when I'm going to give. And I promise you the law of reciprocity will take hold and you'll receive probably more emotionally than you will anything. And by the way, at some point, the money becomes irrelevant and you get to, a lot of us get to that point where it's like, I want to impact. I want to help people. Where I came from, they have this thing called winter. I'm in Alabama now, so we don't really have one. Although I saw a guy walk his dog with a stocking hat and it was 64. Thought that was weird. But, we in our church in Illinois, we put 3,000 coats on kids in town. I mean, like, some little kids don't have a coat. Some don't get a Christmas present. Some, and I'm not trying to preach to everyone, but it's that if you're going to be a player, if you're going to be in pillars and pillars of lifestyle, this is a big part. And it's not time for you to take the foot off the brake and get balance or whatever bullshit someone's telling you need. It's time to go give. And I sensed it, and then I confirmed it, and not anything bad. All the assassins are going to watch this. They're going to be like, whatever. But it was true. Like, no one had, I think it had occurred to them, no one had an actual plan in place. Like, no one had an account. They had not looked that far out into the calendar, and it'll sneak up on you. So that's where that came from.
Yeah, that's great. Is there any nuance to during this time when we talk about shifting to the appointment, and it may be further out, right? Like, hey, let's get together in January, kind of thing. Is there some nuance there?
And I have to tell you something. One of our inner circle said we have a new drinking game. Anytime you or I say nuance or paradigm, it's a drink. So Gary, if you're watching this, cheers. Yeah, I think, if we were teaching how to overcome objections and all that stuff and whatever, people don't want to be closed. They want a relationship. So if you're here to learn closing tips, you're in the wrong place. If the relationship's strong enough, they close themselves. So I think what you want to do is they're naturally going to want to engage business-wise. And if you did November, but if you're creeping up on Thanksgiving, you might as well gather the intelligence and the information to follow up and say, hey, let's get together first of the year and do this. Because it's going to be January 6th. Weird date to say out loud. But it will. I think it's the first, full week in January where that's when you can start to re-engage. And like I said, you're kind of storing, you're getting your leverage or storing now all that intel and goodwill, and then you can start the business cycle over. But if you take your foot, so do the math, if you took your foot off the brake, let's say on Halloween, you bag it, which a lot of people do. They just kind of coast into the end of the year and they relax and whatever. I'm not judging people. I just, the people that are in assassins are trying to get somewhere, right?
Yeah, you can judge. It's okay. You can say you're judging people.
Teach their own. If you're here, it's because you want to do things that are extraordinary. So, if you bag it now, it's going to be March before you get back on track. Like, think of it. That's that's kind of the conversation we had yesterday. It's like lead lag. So if I just say, hey, I've had a great year. It's the last couple months. I'm going to enjoy life. And that's generally I know everyone's going to take this the wrong way. That's generally an employee mindset, by the way. If you're doing what we're doing, like you're running your own show, you're responsible for you. This is your prime time. And I've said it like 100 times now, but if you pay the price now, that first quarter is going to be outstanding. If you coast and take it, just don't do a lot, then you're going to start over in the first quarter. So like you'll start seeing the lagging result in March versus coming in hot in January, ready to go and spreading that out over the year. I've seen it a lot. And, I'm not saying you have to work on Christmas Day, although I've done a conference call on one once. But, run into Christmas Eve. Like, run to Christmas Eve. I told a guy this morning that is in immersion, and I said, if they were electing a mayor on January 1, it should be you. Like, you should be, and he's a freaking killer. He's in immersion and just young dude just crushing it. And it's like, okay, what do we do the next 2 months? I said, if they held an election on 1st of January, the ballot should be checked to your name because you were at all these places. You were seen so much, impacted so much. So that's how I would view it.
I love it. Fantastic. I think we wrap it there. That's a great point.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Hope everybody tensed up just a little bit, but in a good way.
Yes. And by the way, it could be the most fun you have all year. It's not like you're going to, you're not carrying water. You're going to holiday and good cheer and doing great. It should feel wonderful.
Yeah, I hope so for folks. Yeah, to be around people and just do more of being a connector, being engaged with people.
Correct. 'Tis the season. That's how I'll end it.
That's right. And we'll just say nuance again, just for the heck of it at the end.
And paradigm.
And paradigm. There's a nuance to our paradigm here at Sales Assassins.
Gary's going to be drunk. Love
That's
you,
right. Gary. All right. We'll see you all next time.
All right.
Peace. In a sea of endless digital noise, your ability to connect and generate authentic word of mouth is your deadliest weapon. Whether you're just starting out or you're looking to break through to the next level, the principles we discuss here are your blueprint for success. It's all about being the most trusted and valued in your network. To maximize what you've learned today, visit joinsalesassassins.com to see how you can become a true sales assassin in your industry. Until next time, keep sharpening your skills, expanding your network, and remember, in the world of sales, the true assassins strike silently but effectively by doing what nobody sees coming, building genuine connections and powerful relationships. Stay deadly, stay authentic, and we'll see you on the next episode of Sales Assassins.
This show is powered by Media Leads. To get your next great podcast produced, go to MediaLeadsCo.com.